That's not good.
Hello and welcome to uCast Shorts, where we navigate you through the world of IPTV, OTT, one feature, one insight at a time.
I'm Ivan.
And I'm Domagoj. And today
we are joined by someone who spends a lot of time researching and actually doing business in the North American market, who has come here to share some insights on the current situation in the market regarding IPTV and OTT industry. So our colleague Jure.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. It's great being here again.
Thank you. Can you just briefly introduce yourself and tell us what you do in UniqCast?
Sure. So I'm the sales director for North American markets at UniqCast, of course. So as you said, I travel around doing research, talking to customers, and hopefully making some good business.
So you're just enjoying the flights, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. So let's get straight into it. They say North American market. We say North America because it is mostly United States, but also we cannot exclude Canada as well. It's very similar markets. They say the market is evolving, but that sounds a little bit vague. So what would you say is happening in the market right now, and are the service providers struggling or thriving? What would you say is the current situation?
Yeah, so it's actually complicated, right? So basically, the market is evolving. It's the costs are rising. You know, not just the technology cost, but also the content cost. And that kind of brings a set of different problems for the operators and for the content providers and service providers.
Okay.
But I would say it's not only about technology, and it's I think when I think about this North American market, it's also about some kind of business models. I think that this is also under let's say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, operators realize that the majority of money that comes into the company comes through broadband. And with the prices rising on the content and on the technology side, more or less not on the technology side, but actually on the operational side. More and more operators are actually struggling to find the right business case to kind of offset those rising costs.
Okay, so you would say that with the issues you mentioned, so there's, would you say there's an issue with having the service providers have platforms currently that have many vendors on different technology stacks, and you mentioned also the costs are rising, so I would say it's probably operational costs, support costs are rising as well. And would you say there's a gap between what the users are expecting and what they're getting from a lot of platforms?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. So first of all, kind of to address your question in regards to the platforms. So majority of the platforms in the US are legacy platforms, which are built by combining different types of vendors. So it's not like a complete end-to-end platform from one vendor. It's actually, the CRM is from one vendor, the CMS is from another vendor, security, multi-DRM, CAS, another vendor, applications, another vendor, and that kind of ends up being a real mess, like a very long chain where, the operators are stuck. They can't really replace one of these links in the chain without affecting all of the other parts of the system, so they're stuck.
I get you. Actually, I'm always thinking that it's a very fragmented market, especially when you build some kind of a platform. There's multiple vendors, as you said, multiple integrations, and my actually, when I think about it, it's like there is a problem with ownership. When you have some kind of a problem, then who is responsible? And I think that that's one of the things that I think that it's always a problem with these, let's say, big systems, and where multiple vendors, and Yeah. So what do you think about it? Is there
I mean,
any?
yeah, definitely. Because the system is built by different vendors, and like every module is owned by somebody else. There's never somebody that takes the ownership of the complete platform, right? So if you have like an operator or like an ISP that might have a smaller technical team, it's really hard to them to do like day-to-day operations and at the same time kind of open up new projects to replace just one part. So then they end up calling the vendors said, okay, this system is not supported anymore, or we don't have the resources to do this, and it's like, well, who's taking care of these systems, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if we mentioned, but they have multiple vendors for like you said, for the apps, for the DRM, for CRM, and for the backend and everything, and all of that is supposed to work on STBs, which are usually some legacy STBs, probably not up to date. So all of this is causing quite a bit of frustration for the users. I would say you talk a lot with companies in the States.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's kind of the main pain point when we talk about technology. So there's a lot of these operators that are stuck within the guidelines of their legacy system, because the most expensive part, even today, more so than before, are the set-top boxes. If you need to replace 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 set-top boxes, it's expensive, right? So they keep those set-top boxes alive until they work. No point in replacing what works, and with that, then they're also stuck with the legacy code that's running on those set-top boxes, right?
Of course.
And there's a real problem actually going in there and replacing the applications that are running on the set-top boxes, because you can't really just replace that one part. Then you have to replace the encryption part, and you have to replace the encoding part, and you have to replace the origin, the packagers, all of that. So
There's
really
like multiple complex projects that you actually need to. So there's lots of complexity, I would say, right?
Yeah.
We would call it integration nightmare.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, and all of those issues, I'm sure that they are pushing service providers towards reassessing what they have. So basically, what we already know is that they are considering whether to keep the legacy platform, change to new, lose the video altogether, maybe do some third-party integration. So where is that? Thoughts are shifting, and why maybe one of those ideas is good or not?
Yeah, I mean, specifically in the US, I would say that's kind of a very noticed trend currently. So a lot of operators are actually redefining what they actually do, and they're moving away from the TV service, because it's too expensive. It's basically just providing cost. There's no benefit for the operator, and as I mentioned, like the majority of income for these companies comes from broadband, right? So a lot of these guys are now assessing whether to stay in this market or to kind of go out, and a lot of them are actually going out of the video market and focusing just on the broadband. But long term, I mean, for some of them it makes sense. For some of them it definitely doesn't, because long term, you're basically cutting costs on the video side. But once you push out the video side, you're also losing on the subscribers that come with that service, right? So it's not always the best idea looking long term, right?
Yeah.
So we are heading to NAB Show in Las Vegas in this April.
Yeah.
So what will we bring on the table? What will you bring on the table? So what can we offer? I hear lots of complexity, lots of problems, and lots of integration nightmare. But
even the extreme thoughts of abandoning TV altogether, which we do agree is not the smartest idea, just for the fact you basically focus on just one product or service. So anything happens to that product or service, you're out of the business, basically. Or if there's another competitor that does bring TV to the table, and regardless, people do watch Netflix, Amazon Prime, and all that. But at the same time, everybody, especially over there, they do watch. They watch the news. They watch everything that's happening. So they are connected. TV, especially localized TV, is still very active. So you're watching. So it's not like people are not watching daytime TV. So definitely makes sense. But what would you say is what I mentioned?
Well, one thing to kind of start at the beginning. So UniqCast is not a new company in this industry. We've been around for now 11 years plus.
And we've been present on 5 continents so
exactly. But we are fairly new in the US and Canadian market. So, being at NAB is important for us from the point of brand awareness. Because when I go around visiting customers and being on these trade shows, nobody's really heard about us, or they've heard about us, but it's that European company over there. So it's they don't really know what to expect. I would say for all of the operators and the companies that are coming to NAB, what we will be showing is actually what we do best, is what we've positioned ourselves in the market for in the last couple of years, and that's legacy system replacement. So being the actual one that holds up their hand and says we'll take the ownership of the complete end-to-end solution,
being the one point contact.
Exactly. We'll assess end-to-end what we can keep, what we need to replace, and we'll take the ownership, and we'll work with the customer to replace those legacy modules with our own parts or modules of the platform. Right?
But you also be showing the latest features that we have, especially in AI and
exactly. So the idea of it is not to replace something with something which is the same, right? Course. It's what we're bringing to the table is actually a new, let's call it, not a new pipeline, but let's call it a new way of looking at the video business, right? So usually the operators were looking at it as a B2C business, right? What we want to kind of show and specifically for the US market kind of promote is the B2B business.
Of course.
So our platform, it comes with all the nice bells and whistles, with AI, with automations, with, content discovery, personalizations, everything. But it also comes, with multi-tenancy, it comes with hospitality modules, it comes with a lot of these modules and tools and requirements that kind of enable the operator to go into the B2B section. Yes. So it's a completely exactly, and it's a completely different ball game once you can actually go, instead of being like a TV service provider, into being like a platform provider. Right. Yeah. So you can offer this, to smaller ISPs. You can offer it to hotels. You can have digital signage. You can do a lot of this stuff on the premise of the old business versus the new business.
And I think it's also important, as mentioned, there's so much complexity in this business. Of course, not only technological but also business-wise. But I would say that we also bring some simplicity, because we have one single platform that as mentioned, that is multi-tenant, that has a lots of powerful feature, that is, let's say, very flexible in configuring, and basically you can have multiple operators talk with completely different user experience within the same platform. So I think this migrations definitely is, when we talk about let's say some legacy replacements, they can be risky, they are risky, and they are very complex. But what we bring on table definitely is this simplicity, and basically we know how to handle those kind of cases.
I think it comes down to showing the service providers how to mitigate risk and showing them that actually the migration in itself, it is a complex procedure. We've talked about it a lot of times here, but also it can be done when we have a lot of experience, we have a lot of projects all over the world with project replacement. So I think you will be able to convince them that it can be done pretty risk-free.
Yeah, I mean, definitely every replacement comes with some risk, right?
Yes.
But the point of it is that you have one company that can mitigate that risk, that can come in, take the ownership, talk with individual vendors if you want to keep some modules or you need to keep some vendors on board, and then replace everything else, do the integration, do the migration and everything.
Keep their own legacy STBs, which is
exactly, and that's a very important point. So in the recent kind of few months, we've done a lot of work at UniqCast, and this is also one of the points that we'll be showing at NAB. Is actually our platform with nice functionalities, the modern functionalities, working on legacy boxes.
Like Amino, right?
Like Amino, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and maybe we didn't mention, but basically even the process of replacement can be done in parallel, so no need for them to stop the current service while we do the replacement. It can be a seamless experience for the user, for the end user.
There's a few ways that we can do it. I mean, one is to have like a parallel system that we bring up and deploy and then do the migration, and it helps that we can deploy either on-prem or in the cloud or a hybrid deployment. So for the US, for instance, we have a cloud instance in Virginia so that we can instantly kind of bring up and use as a staging point, and then it's up to the operator how they want to go into this. Either they want to do a quick switch over, or they want to do it like very slowly, mitigate the risk, slowly migrate the subscribers over, and then continue with the new platform.
And what about the CDN? Can we offer something for the CDN?
Yeah, definitely. So we have. First of all, we have our own CDN. So any operator that wants to have like a private CDN, we have our own CDN for that we can deploy. It's our own development. So there's no third party in the background doing the traffic mitigation. And then we are integrated with pretty much all of the major public CDNs. So we can reuse the existing CDN if the operator or broadcaster is already using them, or we can suggest which one to use.
And there's also a combination. We can
absolutely,
we have a local market. We put our own CDN.
Yeah.
If you go the multi-state service, we can we can combine.
Exactly.
So basically, they should not be afraid of starting such legacy replacement project, and it won't break the bank, as they say.
Exactly.
So definitely worth it.
I think a lot of these operators that I talk to are quite positively surprised when we talk numbers. So I think that's kind of on top of it, like let's call it the cherry on the sundae.
Yeah. And but it's also about user experience. I'm not sure. I think that when we compare the services on the market, there are lots of, let's say, outdated user experiences, outdated UIs and so on. But I think that we can also offer something in that aspect too. What do you say?
Yeah, and I would just like to add, it's something that is kind of difficult to measure user experience. Yeah. The only way you see it is basically through churn. So when it's bad, then you know it. But whenever it's going good, so just being able to provide.
So the US is a special case in that perspective. So anyone that's
I would say it's a benchmark.
It's kind of it is a benchmark. Yeah. So anyone that's kind of been in the video industry in the US like 10, 15 years ago, they know that it's very common for like a US household to have multiple devices, multiple streaming subscriptions, all of that. But this is now changing slowly. So they're kind of realizing that they don't have to have like 4 different types of devices to have Netflix and Disney and whatnot, right? So they're kind of bringing back that kind of idea that you have one device, let's say per person in the household. But that one device or that one service can offer all of the content and everything like that, and that's exactly what we've achieved in the, let's say, in the last couple of years. So we've done a lot of work to offer our platform as a content aggregation hub. So the operators can actually offer this to their subscribers, so that their subscribers have access, to all of the popular streaming services. Operators can use AI and configuration to kind of bring up all of the, let's say, the content that's already there. So like if the operator has 300 channels, right? Not all of the 300 channels are widely used, right? But we have tools and we have configuration and we use a bit of AI in the background to kind of reuse really good content which is on those channels to kind of offer that as added value to the viewers, right? We've done a lot of work on zapping time, on how the platform reacts, how you search for content, how you basically how you get the information from, let's say, sports events. All of that is kind of available on the platform. And at the end of the day, the platform is a living, developing thing where we are always kind of adding new features, functionalities, and so on.
And we always have to remember, whenever a company thinks, well, I don't need everything so flashy and whatnot, but today the fact is people are comparing their systems with Netflix and Amazon Prime. Those are the competition, not any local company, but they look at what Netflix is doing and then they expect the same from any other.
Yeah, I mean, there's
platform.
there's 2 points, especially like in Canada and the US, and I'm seeing this also in some other regions around the world. So one would think that having these flashy, new, nice features would be the selling point, but actually the selling point for a lot of these operators are the aging viewers in their marketplace.
Okay.
So yeah, it's nice to attract new viewers, to attract young viewers to your platform, but the core income still comes from the X/boomer generation that really just want to zap through the channels, maybe check out the EPG, go into catch-up mode to watch their sports or whatever,
that's about it,
and they want to have a simplified user interface. Now I would say the best part of our platform is actually that the operator can define multiple user interfaces, right? So you could have, for one type of subscriber, you can have really advanced functionalities, really animations, nice features, everything. And then for another set, like older generations, older viewers, you can have really simplified UI, and you don't need to kind of develop an additional app or launch a separate app for that. You just basically define the UI, the template, you define who is going to be accessing this, which users or which group of users, and then you publish it and off it goes.
Perfect. And we've talked, and I think every conversation today has to include AI, whatever we're doing, just because it is something that is everywhere around us. So can you tell us a little bit more like what's happening in that area, or how do we what do we bring to the table, and is that something that they're expecting?
I mean, I would say definitely yes, but it's still kind of AI in the video section is still, or in the video industry is still kind of a buzzword for me personally today. It's gonna go there. That's why what we're doing is we're assessing and implementing AI where it makes sense today, right?
Yeah.
So we have a lot of really fabulous AI-driven features, right? we're just waiting for those features to become more affordable and commercially available.
Of course,
right?
yeah.
But for those that we do have, like for content discovery, for creating dynamic catalogs, all of those features that make sense today,
AI in the background.
they are in the background, they're available, and it's not a buzzword, it's actually a deployed feature with our customers already.
But I would say also, AI is an enabler. It's like, it's not, people are actually trying to solve the problem. So AI is just a tool.
Yeah.
So we are all using the AI, especially in maybe there's, of course, as you mentioned, there are some end user oriented feature which are maybe not so not so complex at the moment. But in the background, I think there is a lot of talks about the AI, and I think that, as you know, we are using a lot of these things just to make our platform more scalable, more performant, and more, let's say, user friendly at the end.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, well, how would you kind of recap if we wanted to invite people to get in touch with you, schedule a meeting, or just drop by our stand? Why would they come? What they can expect in very short few sentences?
I would say that, of course, everyone's welcome, even if they want to come just for a chat or to meet me. I'm always available. But let's say the idea behind it is, so if you guys are thinking about platform replacement, or if you're suffering with astronomical operational costs, or if you're stuck on your platform and you don't know kind of which way to go or to go out of this business, then come and see us at NAB, and let's discuss what are your options and what are actually the best options for you.
Yeah. So we are at hall W2551, right, at the West Hall.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we will write it somewhere.
Yeah, you will see.
I mean, perfect. What else is there to say then?
You need this.